Future Talk.
This is Future Talk
with Omnial Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and good afternoon. Hope you're all having a fantastic and exciting day and excited to find out the latest on what is happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and all around the world. We are one day away from our long weekends right here in the heart of Sharjah. But if you're living in Dubai, you might just have to wait for one more day as well. Coming up in the world of tech, we've got lots to discuss with you on what is happening right here in the heart of Sharjah as we are looking at different government entities and semi-government entities exploring the Metaverse with their digital twins. We're talking all about Sharjah's Bia and how they're now featuring a digital twin of their new headquarters in the Metaverse. What is that going to look like? How can people actually go to work in the Metaverse? We're going to be sharing all those details in just a few moments. Coming up on today's show as well, if you've been concerned with cyber crimes and all the scams that have been actually widespread in the past month, we're talking about the UAE's new cybercrime law and how fines could actually get up to 750,000 dirhams for forging online documents. In the world of weird tech, we're talking all about Sharjah Innovation Week and all the different inventions that are actually being showcased every single day up until Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can head there yourself at the University of Sharjah Men's College and get to see them. But I am going to be bringing to you some inventions that I found very interesting. Some of them are all about transporting different items without necessarily using manpower, because we're going to be talking about a self-balancing robot and how a group of students have created a robot that can balance itself on only 2 wheels. We're also going to be talking about one project that is actually helping transcribe the thoughts of any person who is hard of hearing or unable to speak. The Translator Glove is coming in handy, and I'm going to be telling you all about it. In the world of apps, we're talking all about Instagram and how now they've actually launched a new way for you to go ahead and like and respond to someone without necessarily sending a full-on DM. Likes have been added to people's stories, and I'm excited to share with you what are the thoughts of it by Adam Muziri. Lots and lots is in store right here on today's show, so make sure you keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Sharjah is entering the Metaverse, one company and one government entity at a time. Today we're talking all about Sharjah's Bia and how they are now going to be featuring a digital twin of their brand new headquarters in the Metaverse. And these headquarters were actually designed by Zaha Hadid. It's being positioned as a model for offices of the future. Now, we've been talking about the Metaverse for quite some time. It is not a new concept. However, it definitely gained a lot of traction when Facebook rebranded to Meta back in October of last year. And ever since then, we've seen endless companies actually looking to explore the Metaverse. As we've mentioned now, Bia is looking to even create a digital twin in the Metaverse. And this digital twin will basically replicate its headquarters physical structure right here in our real world. The same structure, the same system will be there, but there will be tracking parameters and data in real time. So the AI technologies will be running simulations. They will be studying variables such as the building's occupancy rate. What is the temperature like? What are the light preferences of the employees? And all these are going to be actually used to create real solutions in the real headquarters and help make sure that they are using the energy in their buildings very efficiently. So the digital twin is actually going to be a virtual representation of an object or a system, and it's one of the core components of the Metaverse. You cannot necessarily enter the Metaverse without having a digital twin, which is why the concept of NFTs has actually been, gaining more and more hype as time goes on, because the NFT is basically like you having this specific object in the digital world, in the virtual world. If you buy a car using NFT, it all of a sudden becomes a virtual or a digital twin in the Metaverse that you can ride, you can use, you can play with, you can even own. And this new digital space will allow every person in the Metaverse to communicate and move using three-dimensional avatars. Now, from the very beginning, we've seen the Emirate of Sharjah actually making the most out of the Metaverse and making sure that they are stepping foot into it and being pioneers in it. Now, the digital twin technology is going to be a very important building block for creating that parallel reality workplace, such as the metaverse. So it's going to allow BIA to create the synchrony between the physical world and the virtual world, where employees, partners can actually benefit from that simultaneous experience at their headquarters, both physically and virtually. As I've mentioned, the metaverse is not a new concept, but ever since Facebook rebranded to Meta back in October, everything has been going on a much faster pace. And slowly we're starting to see a growth in demand for jobs in the metaverse, people starting to want to be more and more involved with it. BIA has actually worked with many big tech companies, Microsoft and many others, to try and put its place in technology at its headquarters. We are looking at BIA actually also launching Sharjah's very first data center, which is going to be known as Evotech. And this new structure will actually become the new model for what offices in the future would look like. So they're trying to integrate blockchain technology. They're trying to integrate having a digital twin in the metaverse to make sure that they are collaborating in every world possible, whether that was the real world or the virtual world. They're also going to actually be able to centralize access control and help identify their employees through the blockchain technology. So they'll be able to enhance security from the minute they enter the offices in the physical space to the minute they enter any virtual meeting room and have meetings with different employees and their partners. So let us know, are you excited for the metaverse, and what would a day in the metaverse for you look like? So many tech experts actually say it's going to be just like the real world, just like what you would do when you play a video game. You'll wake up, go to work, but instead of having to do it in the real world, you'll just have to do it virtually. Let us know your thoughts. 4215, join the conversation. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about the new UAE cybercrime law and what the fines have actually been announced for forging online documents. Make sure you keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
In the past few months, we've definitely seen a huge rise in scams that are taking place online. Many people are actually sending out emails, sending out text messages saying that they are entities they aren't. So we've seen Emirates Post actually being one of the victims of such crimes. A lot of people have actually been receiving documents from so-called Emirates Post telling them to go ahead and enter their credit card details just so that they can go ahead and send out a shipment or receive a certain shipment or mail or whatever it is. And when people go ahead and do those details, they fill them in, they're surprised to find out that their details are going to these scammers and money is being deducted from their accounts. Now, we've heard a lot of cybersecurity experts give us quick tips and guides on how to actually find out if a specific website is who it says it is. Let's say Emirates Post, Sharjah government, police officers, or the police station itself. If you want to find out if any government or business entity is actually legitimate, there are definitely a lot of telltale signs, one of them being any grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes in the website that you're reading. It actually goes to show that this is not necessarily a legitimate website. The URL that you're looking at, you have to double check that it's the same URL as that of the official entity that you would typically receive this email or let's say this link from. And a quick Google search would actually give you what the correct URL is. But apart from trying to protect ourselves or prevent ourselves from falling into or becoming a victim in one of those crimes, the UAE is actually taking huge measures to try and put those scammers and give them what they deserve. So there's a brand new law right here in the UAE that is actually stating that you can get up to 750,000 dirhams as a fine for forging online documents or conducting any of those scams. So the public prosecution has explained that there are a lot of penalties for falsifying electronic documents. This is not the first time we've heard of these penalties, but now these fines have actually been or have become a lot more expensive just to make sure that people actually know what they're getting themselves into before they go ahead and do such a crime. So the UAE public prosecution actually posted on their social media accounts the different penalties for falsifying an electronic document. And according to Article 14 of the Federal Decree Law number 34 of the year 2021 on combating rumors and cybercrimes, it actually states that whoever falsifies any of the electronic documents of the federal or local government, any federal or local public authority or organization, he or she would be sentenced to a temporary imprisonment and a fine ranging between 150,000 dirhams to 750,000 dirhams. Now, the penalty shall be detention and or the fine. So you're looking at double the penalty at the same time. Now, if the document that you falsified is not of a federal entity, you're still looking at a fine between 100,000 dirhams and 100,000 dirhams and 300,000 dirhams at a time. Now, whoever knowingly goes ahead and falsifies the electronic document will be sentenced to the penalty that I've just mentioned for the offense of falsification. And this post is completely official. We're not talking about things that are going to be dodged or swept under the rug, and it's going to be applied to anyone who goes ahead and falsifies any electronic document or online document for a federal government or any entity whatsoever. Let us know if you've actually ever fallen as a victim of one of those scams that we've actually been seeing on the rise. Most of them have actually been by official government entities. Scammers would make the most out of it because they send out, let's say, an email to you or even a text message saying that you have been, let's say, fined. Go ahead and pay your fine using this link. You'd open it. You'd think it's, let's say, Sharjah Police, only to find out that this is not the official URL of the Sharjah Police website, or even it's not even from Sharjah Police to begin with. So let us know and share with us your stories. 4215. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we are going to be diving into the world of innovation. Sharjah is celebrating its love for innovation this week at the University of Sharjah, and we have lots and lots of interviews lined up for you from the different inventions that we got a chance to check out at the University of Sharjah Men's College this week. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Sharjah Innovation Week is in full force, and it's going to be going on up until Friday, every single day from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the University of Sharjah's Men's College. So if you have a chance to head there, make sure you go ahead and head there yourself, because the inventions that you'll get to witness are just spectacular. You'll find everything from innovations of students to different startups and businesses displaying what they have in store and what they have been working on this past year, as well as government entities actually showcasing the latest inventions that they have created. But today, I'm here with you to share with you one of the most talented inventions that I actually came across during my visit to Sharjah's Innovation Week. And we're talking all about a self-balancing robot, a two-wheeled self-balancing robot. So we're basically talking about a robot that's capable of holding itself and carrying objects on top of it when it's only functioning on two wheels. It was created by a group of students, Malik Bulbul, Omar Jad, and Suhaib Salah. They created this robot in honestly a great amount of time. I think 6 to 8 months this robot was pieces, and all of a sudden it became a full functioning object. They've gotten the pieces themselves from the plastic acrylic where you can place the object that you wanted to carry. It was capable of carrying my phone, even though my phone is a bit heavy. You can even put things on top of each other and it'll still be able to maintain its balance. But enough of me talking about it. Let's hear what they had to say about this new invention. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what the self-balancing robot is capable of doing?
It's a robot. It's a two-wheel self-balancing robot, so it moves on two wheels, not three, and that makes it harder to balance. The idea is that as long as you can put objects on it and it still maintains its balance, that was the idea. And as I just demonstrated, it was able to do that. Mm-hmm. We also used what we wanted to do with it as well, but we couldn't continue, is to control it with using Bluetooth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but we weren't capable of doing that because the semester ended and we had to submit our project.
Okay.
If we wanted to continue with it, if we wanted to add anything new, we could add the Bluetooth to control it using the phone, to move it like forward or backward or make it turn left and right. Yeah.
It's very interesting because, as you've mentioned, it's balancing based off only two wheels.
On two wheels.
So my question is, what's the maximum weight that it's capable of carrying at one time?
Maximum weight, I think it's like around 3 kilograms. 3 kilograms, yeah. It's capable of doing that while still maintaining balance. Any more and it could fall.
Any challenges that you faced when you were building this robot?
I mean, yeah, many challenges. Creating the frame, because the frame was created from scratch. We had to laser cut our acrylic, and we had to laser cut our aluminum, as well as the programming. The programming was the most challenging part, because while we were coding, we always had many bugs. We faced many bugs, and we always had to find solutions to it. It's not easy to find solutions for coding bugs and we had to use online resources, online forums. Other difficulties are
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to any student that maybe is embarking on a new project but is worried of the challenges that they may face?
Always work hard and always work early. Don't wait until the last minute to start working, because you're always going to face problems, no matter when. So always start early and and do your research.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Over the past few days, we have been talking endlessly about Sharjah Innovation Week and all the different inventions that they are celebrating and showcasing at the University of Sharjah Men's College. And during my visit over there, I actually came across a great invention that is mainly catered to people of determination. It is known as the Translator Glove. It was created by students known as, or their names are Muhammad Atallah, Amin Jarrah, and Muhammad Saeed Al-Bitar. So they created this device that is helping deaf and mute disabled people to communicate with others. So it would basically be able to recognize hand gestures using different sensors that are actually embedded within that glove that can recognize the letters in the English language. And every 1.5 seconds, the screen would display a letter based on those hand gestures. So I'm excited to get to have everyone actually hear what they had to say about this invention and the main aim behind creating it. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what the Translator Glove is capable of doing?
Okay, so the Translator Glove is a glove with 5 tilt sensors. Each sensor is attached to a circuit board, and each gesture on each finger translates into a movement. And these movements are translated then through a programmable code into a letter. And this letter helps people who have disabilities, who can't hear or talk, to communicate easier with other people. So they can either write words or sentences. And even for us, if we don't know the sign language, it could make it easier for us to communicate with people who cannot hear, for example, deaf people. And this is the idea in general. And as we said, it's only a way to make it easier to communicate with people with disabilities.
Absolutely. So the glove is capable of basically transcribing every word that goes in the mind of someone who's deaf or unable to speak.
Yes, exactly. Each movement translates into a letter, and then he chooses what letters he writes. He can insert spaces to write sentences, or even delete letters, which makes it easier for them to communicate, as you said.
This is an amazing invention, but every invention has a story behind it. What inspired you to create the Translator Glove?
It's actually made by students in my department, Muhammad Al-Hallaq, Amin, and Muhammad Al-Bitar. And what inspired them mostly is they wanted to make it easier for them to communicate with other people. So for everyone to be able to communicate without no boundaries, without no limits. And this is what inspired them to start such a project.
What are your future plans for this project?
Of course, to make the project better, try to improve it, make it easier to be accessible to everybody. And as we said, making communication easier.
Breaking communication barriers. That was the main aim behind the Translator Glove. But apart from breaking communication barriers, some students over there were actually creative enough to try and make the most out of the things that around the world may be considered as a form of pollution. Sound and noise is actually one of the biggest form of pollution around the world. And a group of students actually created a device that can transform any sound, any form of sound pollution into a useful form of energy. How does it work and what are the potential of this device? We're going to be hearing from them what it is capable of doing.
My name is Noor Isa and our project is eNoise. This is my partner Hassa and Mahrazi. We both worked on it together. And basically eNoise is to change the energy found in sound and turn it into electricity. We can use it through anything. We can light bulbs, we can light factories using it. We first started with airports. We thought about airports with all the noise being wasted from the airplanes, cargo ships, whatever. And then we thought about we can use it literally anywhere, like in highways. Highways are a big like aim point for us. Also in factories, we can use it to turn sound into energy to to electrify anything. So basically, instead of like the speaker producing noise, the speaker will take in noise now and produce the energy from that. So each speaker has a specific decibel point. The bigger the speaker is, the more energy that's going to be produced. So this speaker can take into 80 decibels and it can produce enough energy for a light bulb. This can be improved more and the bigger the speaker is. So for the airplanes, we need 150 decibels. So we need a bigger speaker to produce enough energy to light up the airplane and reduce any emissions produced. So that's it.
What's your main goal? What do you hope one day that this device is able to take in energy or sound and turn it into energy?
So basically, our planet Earth is dying and the ozone layer is becoming weaker and weaker every day. And we noticed that there's nothing to do about like the sound emissions, right? So all this treasure is being wasted day by day. We can use this treasure, which is sound, and turn it into electricity, which we can help planet Earth heal, because planet Earth needs healing now. It needs our help. So we thought, why not try and help it heal? Yeah, so that's what we want.
Why not us? That is the main goal and the main aim behind every invention that I actually came across during Sharjah Innovation Week. Every student had a big dream, had a main aim behind their invention, a problem they wanted to solve, a person they wanted to help, or even a solution to give to the world of medicine, architecture, engineering, you name it. So honestly, if you are not even interested in technology, but you want to be inspired, my advice is to go ahead and head to the University of Sharjah. Sharjah Innovation Week is one of the largest events that are celebrating innovators across the UAE. Every single week in the month of February, one emirate takes a turn in portraying and showcasing what projects are they most proud of. So if you want to do yourself a favor, go ahead and head there. They are hosting lots of workshops, lots of activities every single day from 9 a.m. up until 3 p.m. And all you need is a green pass, a green Al Husn pass to be able to enter and witness what innovations are in store for all of us. Coming up on today's show, we've got lots to share when it comes to the world of applications, because we're talking all about Instagram stories and how they are now allowing us to like each other's stories without sending a DM and clogging up any person's DM inbox. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
It's a couple days late, but Instagram has decided to give us a late Valentine's Day present, because they are actually going to help us celebrate love and our love for Instagram stories. They're rolling out a brand new feature that they're calling the Private Story Likes. It's a very simple concept, but honestly, a concept that I'm thinking, why haven't they actually released this a long time ago? We all know the reaction feature on Instagram stories. So when you see someone's story and you want to express that you love it, you agree with it, you want to laugh about it, you can actually, react with one of the emojis over there. But the issue with that is that it immediately becomes a DM on Instagram. So you might start clogging up your friends or your loved ones' DM inbox by reacting to their stories. So now they're creating this new option where just like you would like an Instagram post, you can like an Instagram story. And this way, you're not going to be clogging up anyone's Instagram DMs. And at the same time, you're still reacting to that person or showing them love. I think it's going to be a great feature for content creators because the new algorithm for Instagram actually only allows us to see people's stories if we react to them often enough. So your favorite influencers would actually request from a lot of their followers to start reacting to their stories so that they can, hop onto that algorithm and have their content show up to you more frequently. So now you'll be able to do that without necessarily having to send a DM. As you go through your stories between send message and that little paper airplane that allows you to share the story to any of your friends, there will be a brand new heart icon. If you go ahead and tap on that icon, you will send the author of that story a like, and that like will show up in the viewer sheet, not in the DM thread of their story. So they can actually start viewing who liked their story, just like you actually can view you can see who viewed your story at a time. This is Instagram's way of being able to celebrate Valentine's Day and also allow us to create a different approach to what users' main feeds would look like. Instagram is now under the umbrella of Meta. It has been spending more than 2 years testing the option of hiding the like counts on the main feed before making the decision to leave them on by default. So now for your stories, you're not going to be able to see how many people liked someone's story, but the person himself or herself will be able to see who was able to leave a like on their stories by simply viewing their stories view sheet. The idea here is to make people express themselves, express their support for one another and love each other, but at the same time, clean up that DM a little bit more. Let us know, have you actually gotten access to this feature? Have you been able to like your friend and loved ones' Instagram stories without necessarily having to clog up their Instagram DM inbox? I've actually been very excited about this feature. I think it's a great way to support one another, be able to express your love for a certain quote or for a certain post on stories. I would love to hear all of your thoughts. 4215. It's been such a fantastic hour with everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this show as much as I have. Honestly, this week has been such a blast with getting to explore the innovations that have been taking place at Sharjah Innovation Week. We've been playing content and interviews from the different inventions that I've come across at the University of Sharjah Men's College, and I hope you've actually enjoyed and gotten to see Sharjah Innovation Week through my eyes, through the eyes of everyone who has actually headed there. Future Talk is coming to an end, but our shows on Pulse 95 are not ending anytime soon. Coming up is the halftime show, the only place to be at 3 with Omid Ad-Douri. From 3 to 4 p.m. you can catch the latest on what is happening in the world of sports, mental health, as well as your physical well-being. It's a show that you don't want to miss. I'll catch you again tomorrow, same time, same place, only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.